Kia ora te whānau, no mai hoki mai. Welcome back. Welcome to On The Record with Ray, a Play It Strange podcast. Ko waiaho, ko Ray tēnei. I am your host, award-winning artist, producer, engineer, and of course, Play It Strange alumni. Each episode, we go behind the scenes of the Aotearoa music industry to help you level up your craft, your confidence, and of course, your career in the industry. Let's get into it. Today, we have a very special guest with us. We're talking about how to get your music played on the radio. The radio, it's still a thing, whānau. Don't worry. Specifically, the Student Radio Network, and why that still matters in a streaming-first world. And joining us today is the perfect guest for this kōrero, Aneeka Moheed, Program Director at the iconic Auckland-based station 95BFM. So Aneeka oversees everything from the station's playlists and DJ training to show curation and live-to-air performances. At 95BFM, they're a member of the Student Radio Network, or SRN, if you're cool and you're in the know and you know the lingo, and they champion independent and alternative music. They are committed to uplifting diverse voices, sounds, and ideas. And importantly for our listeners, the SRN play up to 70% of local music content, whereas mainstream media, they play approximately 20% NZ content, even as low as 10%. And with the majority of the music that the NZ music that the mainstreams play, it's usually just the big bands like 660 or LAB and the big hitters like that. Whereas SRN, on the other hand, they're committed to providing a platform for emerging artists. So, on that note, Aneeka, ngā mihi nui ki a koe, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
How you feeling today? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Good to hear. Me too.
I love talking about the SRN and radio.
I love talking about all of these things also. First off, for those who might not know, we know what radio is, but what is the Student Radio Network? Who's involved? How do you all work together?
So the Student Radio Network consists of 95BFM, RDU, Radio Control, Radio Active, and Radio 1. So that's across...
All the cool kids.
All the cool kids. Yeah. All in like kind of the major university hubs across Aotearoa. So like not New Plymouth, Palmerston North.
Sorry, New Plymouth, not this time.
We've got Palmerston North, we've got Wellington, Dunedin, Christchurch, and of course Auckland with BFM. So all of these stations are kind of attached to the respective university in that town. But in terms of how they operate, think like independent community-based radio station. So it's very different to the kind of outputs you have to put out with commercial radio. There's a lot more freedom in it. And it's way more about the community behind it because all of these stations rely heavily on the community behind them to keep them going.
We love the community.
Involved.
Thanks, community.
We need the community.
Keep listening.
Otherwise, we're nothing.
That's right.
And 95BFM, where I work, is kind of the Auckland facet of that. So we've been around since 1969.
Wow.
And are still...
It's a good run.
Trucking along, as Rachel Ashby likes to call us, we're the cockroach of the New Zealand mediascape.
I've heard like radio industry in general in New Zealand called like the cockroach of the media industry. So you guys are the cockroach within the cockroach.
Yeah, and I don't want to think too deeply about what that means.
That means you can't be killed. That's a good thing.
But we can't be killed. And so it's really cool. It's a really awesome place to work and be involved in.
So we talked a little bit about, in the intro, we talked a little bit about the percentage of Aotearoa music that you guys play. Yeah. It's like, that's pretty vital. That you guys play a vital role then in the whole scene of Aotearoa music, and especially for our up-and-coming emerging artists, especially, if the majors are only playing the same old bands, like it's hard for us to get a foot in. Even for like mid-tier artists like myself, it can be hard to get a foot in on the major stations. So what, obviously there's that, but what else makes student radio so different from commercial radio? And why is that important for emerging musicians?
Well, I think the kaupapa behind student radio network stations is very much embedded in giving back to the community. It's like uplifting local talent and like ensuring that it can be regenerative. So in order for the music industry in Aotearoa to like keep going and actually have a long-term durability?
Longevity?
But longevity, that's the word. You actually do need to constantly have a stream of new upcoming talent who
It's essential.
then in turn, like, you know, everything ages out. And also there's like music in general has such a cyclical nature of trends that you need to make sure that you're fostering that from the very beginning. And that doesn't really have a space in the industry outside of the SRN when it comes to being able to promote and platform yourself. I think the other thing that the SRN offers is it's a place where it's a very comfortable space. It's a space where artists can come up, get platformed, have a chat to hosts and help audiences get to know them. And I think it's really important, especially when you're starting out, that people get to know you as a person so they can know what you're about. And it helps audiences not only be more connected to your music, but be able to place you within the context of like the music industry as a whole, which is really cool.
Yeah, I like that idea of being regenerative, being cyclical. Like that's super important to support the new up and comers. But also, that idea of longevity and having sustainable careers. It's like important to have fans that are with you like from the get-go, right?
God, yeah.
And they can grow with you and watch your development. And those fans are going to be the ones that really champion you throughout your career.
Yeah, which is awesome. And I think it's like, it's a really personal experience coming up through the SRN. Like I feel like artists who are bred like right out of the crux of the SRN actually form a really personal connection to not only their audiences, but like the people who help platform them from the start. And so there's something really authentic about it, which is really beautiful. I think it's a really, really important part of the music industry as a whole. Yeah. Because I think while commercial stations, they need to have guarantees. They need to have guaranteed, I don't really know what the word is, but like they need to know that something is good, which is hard to do in Aotearoa because compared to international places, our music industry is small. Yeah. And so you can't really get that guarantee until you're the size of 660. And that's not really tenable for young artists.
Yeah, commercial radio doesn't want to take risks.
Yeah, right? They don't want to take risks.
They've got bosses that the bosses might even be in Australia. That's a whole other corridor. But they got bosses and they're meeting targets and everything. So they have
targets they have to make. So are they going to play something that they know is going to do well? Yeah. Because it's been doing well in Europe and it's been doing well in America. Or are they going to take a chance? Like they can't.
Whereas you guys can afford to do that. Yeah. And that is more, like you say, it's just the co-popper behind it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Yeah, I think I did my first ever interviews on radio were on Radioactive down in Wellington. And they had a big part of my early successes and my early releases. They got behind some of those. I had a rap duo in my uni days called Kid and Ray. It was me and one of my bros, and they supported us. We did a couple interviews, and I'd go in and drop off my CDs and just try to meet the people and try to find the hosts and try to make friends with them. And it was always a good vibe. Shout out Radioactive.
And it's a comfortable space to walk into as an artist. And I think that's really coming back to the community of it all.
Community. I'm going to say that about 10 more times in this.
Oh, I think about 50.
Yeah,
but, I think because it's a space where isolated from the music industry side of it, especially at BFM, it's a place where people come to be a part of something, to be a part of this world, and it's a very open, welcoming space.
Let's say you're an artist who's just finished your first single. They got it mixed, they got it mastered, they got a press release, they've learned how to write some emails. They've learned how to write some emails because they listened to an earlier On The Record podcast that we made. And and they want to send it to BFM. They want to get it on BFM. They want to hear their song. They want to be driving in the car and hear somebody else play their song on the radio, on BFM. Where do they start?
Music at 95bfm.com.
Ooh, there it is.
The song submission email address. It's as easy as that.
Say that one more time, nice and slow.
Music, MUSIC, at 95bfm.com.
That's great. I'm taking notes as well. I'm just writing that
you can find it on the website
database
as well. Another really important thing to consider when submitting music in SRN stations is that all SRN stations have an incredibly diverse range of shows and DJs. And so I recommend you listen to the station.
Do your research.
Yep. And find out where you think you fit. It might, like, for example, like I might listen to it and be like, oh, actually this person thinks they fit there, but I think they'd be a better fit here. That's fine. But
we're not always that good at self-identifying our genres.
No, but it's helpful to know what kind of direction you see yourself going in.
So do you recommend sending the music to the program directors such as yourself, and then also like hunting down the genre-specific shows within the stations and
if
sending
you
to
want
them
to,
directly?
go for it.
Yeah.
You can also put a line in the email that you send through to song submissions saying, I think this track could be a really good fit
helps,
here, there, or the other.
Yeah.
And
make it easy for them. Make it easy for people.
Make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
Because we do
busy.
get a lot of emails.
That's right.
But, and we can always pass it on into like the right places. Also, not everything's going to make it, and that's fine.
Okay.
That's okay. I think one thing that's really important to remember when it comes to SRN stuff is it's far more track by track selected than it is going off artists and kind of how established they are. So like you might submit something, it might not hit, but that's not going to be held against you. It's not going to be like, oh, but their last song was shit, so like I'm not going to do this song.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, oh no, they've grown, they've done something different. This one actually works. So it's going to be different. It's also going to be different station to station because the SRN stations all move very dynamically when it comes to how it can sound at any given time.
Yeah.
The run of station playlisting can kind of go all over the place. So something that might work on BFM this week might be great for Radioactive in a month, just not right now.
Okay, so we want to get it to the right people. We want to get it to the program directors. But how do we actually send it out? What's the ideal email look like for you? We talked a little bit about like, you know, who it should go to, but yeah, like what makes a song or an artist stand out in your inbox in your busy day when you've got an hour in the morning to do your emails before you do all the rest of your things?
Well, as you touched on before, make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
Please send me a WAV. And don't send me a Spotify link. And like, you want to have the track readily available. If it hits, I can immediately just download it and put it in the system.
No hitting a link and then request for access.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're just attaching the WAV to the thing, or a Dropbox.
Yeah. As long as it's accessible.
As long as it's accessible, it's fine. But yeah, I think you want to make it clear that you're an up-and-coming artist, that you're from Aotearoa, that you a little artist bio, I think.
And from the region, if you're
and from the region.
Region-specific one.
Another super helpful thing that I do like when people include is when they include kind of the team that worked on the track as well.
Yep. So like a little couple of sentences just about it. Yep.
Kind of let me know who else was involved because like, as
name
I
drop.
said, name drop. It's
it helps.
Best friend. It's not your best friend, but it's your friend.
And how about like subject line? What kind of things you want in the subject? Just a general little recap or like,
Yeah.
Wellington-based
new
artist,
single.
Play It Strange, like, you know, like.
You want new single, artist name.
I'm also taking notes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Release date. Oh, another thing.
Release date in the subject?
Another thing is
That's
like,
useful.
if you email through a track about a month before it gets released, you are going to have to follow up the week that it does get released.
This is what I find.
Because you can't, I mean, I get it from an artist's point of view being like, okay, just like putting this out there, but the student radio network is underfunded as fuck. And so we can't keep track of everything coming out in like a month or 2 months. So you want to follow up. If you want playlisting support, you want to follow up.
Do you still think it's worth sending that 1 month in advance email then, or do you think it's just they should just send an email a week or two before?
It's okay. So for things like interview bookings and to get yourself on the station, you want to send stuff like that through far enough in advance. For things like getting radio plays, that's most helpful to do the week of. So it's almost like I'd send it a month out to interview at 95bfm.com and then week off to music at 95bfm.com.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool. Or if you can't remember, just do both and follow up.
Or just do both times. That's fine.
And don't be afraid to follow up. But you just got to have a thick skin sometimes with that, and you just got to follow up. And even if by the time they get back to you, sometimes it's sorry, it's not a good fit for us, and that's fine too. At least you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes I don't know if you recommend this. You can tell me not to condone this, but like sometimes you need to follow up from a couple different angles, like send an email and then a couple emails. If they're not getting back to you, you can follow up with a DM or whatever, or like not to be like to an annoying level.
I think it's you have to strike the point before it gets annoying.
Yeah, because if you get an annoying
follow up, definitely follow up, and I don't want to discourage anyone for following up.
Yeah.
Follow up like twice, not like 5 times, you know?
Yeah.
The playlist turns around every Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait till the next Wednesday to put your song up. If you send it through on Wednesday morning and it's a Spotify link and I can't get it.
That's right.
And it's too hard, that makes it harder for me because then I have to follow up, then I have to wait for you to get back. But I can't put off putting out the whole playlist until someone gets back to me. So if you don't get back to me in time, then that's kind of...
Fair enough. That's it. Yeah, I have a bit of a mental database in my head of when the different radio stations actually do their like program decisions and when they do their program meetings. So I'll actually like schedule my emails for like 8 a.m. on the morning of when they're gonna have like their meetings.
Honestly, smart.
Yeah, so
do
then
that.
when they go to their meetings, they've got your song got my song, your song at the top of the inbox, and it's right there. So there you go. Schedule your BFM
do that. Wednesday mornings.
8 a.m. Wednesday morning. So it's right at the top. It's easy, but it actually goes a long way.
It works.
All right. So we got no Spotify links. What else should artists be avoiding when sending their music through?
What should they be avoiding? Look, especially the SRN is very forgiving. And I think part of being a place where up-and-coming artists get platformed, we understand that there's a lot of different things that you have to learn and that you have to grow into. And part of that is things like song submission etiquette and email etiquette. So it is very forgiving.
That's
I
cool.
think, I mean, I'm going to sound like really boring and like someone's mum right now, but like...
Let's go there.
Don't try to do some like crazy email formatting and stuff. Just like keep it clean, keep it simple. I think another thing that I think is quite important for young artists to realize is that there's often quite a rush to get like on a label and to get like your publicist and your PR company and in that rush, I think people often forget that they're still at the point of their career where they're establishing what their sound is.
Yeah.
And you want to have the freedom to do that before you have someone else telling you what it needs to be in order to fit into like their business model.
Yeah.
And so like the time where you're doing stuff for yourself, while it is a bit harder, it's really, really valuable.
Yeah. Like all the time I spent in my, late teens, early 20s, figuring out how to do press releases and like doing the emails to student radio, iwi radio myself, like it was super valuable. So then when I got to the point, if I wanted to bring a publicist involved or working with other publicity companies or whatever, like I knew what the process was and I knew what they were doing. And I also had a bunch of personal relationships that were also set up out of doing that.
Totally. And it's important information for an artist to know.
Yeah.
It's like important to teach yourself those skills.
For sure.
Because even when you have someone else doing it for you, you still want to know the way in which it feels the most authentic to you.
Yeah. Writing the songs is fun. Performing is fun. Emails, slightly less fun.
Not that fun.
But also, you got to do all of the radio send-outs. You got to do that so that you can get to the fun stuff.
And I think, especially in the SRN, like we appreciate that people don't have the resources to get other people to do that for them, and we do.
Yeah.
And that's why I said like we're much more forgiving if stuff isn't 100% correct all the time.
Yeah.
Because at least you're doing it. Yeah. And at least you're putting it out there.
I mean, still, spell check your emails and everything.
Oh yeah, spell check.
And do your best to make the email good. But that's good to know that you're not gonna like ban someone because they forgot to do something. It's just good to know for artists that are starting to do their own send outs that there's that forgiving space. This is something that I've probably done this a few times when I should have just sent my songs to individual people. But what do you recommend for like sending out, for doing your emails? Should we be sending individual emails to every single SRN and trying to customize, or is it okay to just do like a BCC like generic send out to like all of them at once? What do you, as a program director, getting the emails, what do you think? What is best for you?
Look, I personally don't mind a bulk send out. I kind of expect artists who are submitting to BFM to be submitting across the SRN.
Yeah.
We're all pretty connected and pretty like up to date with what other stations are doing. So yeah, it's not like no, you're meant to just be submitting it to me. It's like, no, we're all like, I definitely expect artists to send it to everyone because it might hit some places, it might not in others.
You're saying that even if it's super poppy, like they're still welcome to send it through and there still might be a space? Like on
I
some of
mean,
the shows?
send it through. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I know people are gonna argue with this, but I think Royals was on the BFM top 10 before it was getting radio plays anywhere else.
Surprised, yeah. Okay, we broke.
Just
Lord
saying, no, like, and I hate saying that because it makes you sound like such a dick. But
no, like the student radio network would have been
someone
crucial.
has actually tried to fight me on that in a panel before. But I'm pretty sure we did.
Claim it.
Maybe.
How else can an artist build a relationship with a station like BFM?
Come volunteer.
That's right.
We do gigs. We do live to airs. Come to the events. I personally love when artists want to come out and help out with live to airs and events and stuff because they usually know how to set up backline.
That's it.
Which I don't. So
back where?
I'm like, I can carry the stuff, but I don't know. But it's like they actually have really valuable knowledge when it comes to doing stuff like that, and it's super, super useful. So I think. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, like if you're volunteering to help out, you're like embedding yourself in that community, right? And
exactly.
You're making friends, you're becoming a familiar
and you're getting
face.
to know people. You're getting to know people who could help you. You're getting to know people who could like help you musically. I think it's a community space. Yeah. So it's like, come be a part of the community.
Like, if your first single doesn't hit, like maybe your second or third one might hit because you've built up that reputation, that you've built up that relationship, and doing things like volunteering and going to the events, like meeting the people in person. Like you say, apart from the fact of just like helping get more radio play, like it just builds up your networks, it builds up the community, you feel more supported as an artist, you feel less siloed, like you're just making music by yourself in your bedroom, which, I spent a lot of years doing that, and like I've quite consciously tried to step out of my show and be more social and get out there, and it, my music was more successful as a result. All right, so we got listening to the stations, we got going to the events. What else are the best ways to support your local student radio station as a musician? Should we be following on socials, engaging there as well? Like, what else?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, the social media department is not mine, but it's run by someone who's very competent and a lot better at it than I am.
Yeah.
But it's very, I always underestimate how engaging it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm bad at it, but it's in the right hands. And so I always underestimate how engaging it is, how important it is for artists. Like, it's a tool of communication at the end of the day.
Why does radio airplay still matter? Why does the cockroach never die?
Well, for starters, it's a space where you have an actual person curating your playlists. And as handy as algorithms and stuff are, I've found that, like, especially with streaming algorithms, it's handy for finding new stuff that you'll like. It's not the best as like music discovery. And I feel like especially the SRN within the wider radioscape is still existing as a music discovery platform, which is like the roots of music radio. It was a music discovery platform. And I think that
finding new tunes, finding new artists that you might like.
And I think that like people come to the Student Radio Network, our listeners listen to it because they want to hear something new. Yeah. Because they want to hear something new, different, interesting, and it's coming from a trusted source. So it's coming from a DJ who they're familiar with. It
feels more human.
Because it is. Because it is. And so it has a level of trust in it that you don't actually get with streaming. And also like you can, it's it's less kind of putting it out into the voidy, because you have someone like a show host or whoever's playing your music, you've got someone who can contextualize you as an artist and like let people know a little bit about you before and where your track sits. And I think even things as simple as like the songs that they choose to play around your track affect how audiences listen to it.
Yeah.
Like a track can sound completely different when played after one song compared to another.
That's true.
And you have an actual person who's choosing that and curating that sound to give your song the best chance possible of sounding as good as it can.
Yeah, for sure. And it is scary, the whole idea of the algorithm running so much of our lives now. Like I know platforms such as Spotify are going, like they literally fired half of their human curating staff last year. So they're going way more algorithmic. Platforms like TikTok, super algorithmic. They're just crunching, it's algorithms that are just crunching the data and thinking of who might like this song because of they like this stuff.
They
and
like this other stuff. And then it's also like, I don't know, I think it forces music to fit into a pre-existing box.
Yeah, and like student radios being run by humans and actually having the power to play those songs a few times and to get people to that level where they listen a few times, that's like the first step towards actually having a fan, right? And
also,
creating a fan base.
I think people who engage with radio and especially with student radio are much more open to, like, they're listening to the SRN because they want to find
they're cool.
new stuff.
So we mentioned Lord a while back as someone that, who's had a big break from the SRN network. What are some other artists, some other examples of artists that have really had their start of really had a big leg up in their career from the student radio network?
Well, I'll try to run the list off the top of my head. But obviously, like, the Bets, Phaser Days still SRN darling, but doing absolutely amazingly overseas. We've got Early 660 was platformed in a huge way by especially Radioactive and BFM, and I think Radio 1 was really on that as well.
That's good to know because, like they're another band that has really like cracked commercial radio.
They've really, really cracked commercial radio.
They still got their like, their first foot in the industry through the SRN, right? And like their big Dunedin student networks and everything like that. This is a tricky one.
Okay.
But if you had one piece of advice, one little nugget, one little gem to give to an emerging artist trying to get their music heard in Aotearoa, what would that be, Aneeka?
That's a tricky one. I don't know. Make it interesting.
Ooh.
I think that a lot of the time, especially young artists, get really, it's really overwhelming to be at the start of your career musically. Like, it's incredibly intimidating, and it's a lot to take in. And obviously there's so much music out there that you get inspiration from so many places, but I think people, there's a tendency to want to play it safe. There's a tendency, exactly. Like, you want to be doing something that you know is going to work. But one of the best things about being an up and coming artist is you have so much more freedom than you do the longer you work in the industry. Yeah. Like, the more established you become, the more expectations people have of you. Like, you get onto that label, you get onto all of that stuff, and like all of a sudden
in a whole lot of different directions.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fine, because as you mature as an artist, you really find your space and you find your sound. Don't push yourself to find that too early. Have fun with it. It's music. It's meant to be fun. Like, you're meant to be having fun with it. And I think it's a really, really exciting time of your career.
To quote a famous SRN artist called Drake, the moment I stop having fun with it, I'm done with it. Do you?
Exactly.
And if you have to take a risk, then that's fine. And when you're an emerging artist, you have that freedom. Like you said, this is the time to try the new things and experiment when you have way less pressure and you can just follow the sounds, follow the excitement.
Follow the excitement. And if it's interesting to you, it's going to be interesting to other people. And I think there's this kind of perception that the space in the music industry is finite, like that there's a finite amount of space for sounds and different styles and techniques and genres. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
There isn't. If, like, don't try fit into someone else's niche. You can make your own niche.
That's right.
Because it's sound. It's not the planet. I don't know.
That's out
but
there.
It's like there isn't a finite amount of space. You can find your people. There are new music fans getting born every single day. Like,
that's right.
you don't have to cater to people who you know for sure are there, because like, you do your stuff, you make it authentic to yourself, and your people will come.
That's right. I like that. I like that a lot. You know, follow the excitement. We like
Do
things.
it for you.
Do it for you. So if we're doing it for you, if we're doing it for Aneeka, what is the one thing that makes you excited, that makes you just get that extra fire in your puku, that makes you, excited to champion a new artist? What is it?
When they're doing something different, when they're doing something fun, and as I said, interesting and different. And it's like, I love kind of working in the sector of the music industry, which is all about up and coming artists. It's so exciting to watch someone grow and develop in like the early stages of their career. I love the early stages of people who don't quite know what they're doing yet, don't quite know what they're about yet, but know that they love it, know that they love making music, and want to try out different ways of doing that. There are so many different ways of making music. There are so many different ways you can put a track together. And so someone who's out there experimenting with it, someone who's having fun with it, if you're having fun with it, people can hear that.
And through all that, SRN is here ready for your
and
song.
And the SRN is here for all of it. For all of the bullshit.
All of the bullshit. They're ready for it all. Ngā mihi nui e hoa. I think that's a good as note for us to end on. So thank you so much for sharing all these good gems and for having a kōrero with us. I know this will really inspire our listeners, give them confidence to hit send on that email, and then hit send on that follow-up email. And
not
reach
too
out.
many follow-up
Not
emails.
too many, just the right amount of following up. And they'll be able to reach out to their local station for the first time. That's us, whānau. Catch you next time on The Record, where we're breaking down the music industry in Aotearoa, one episode at a time. Ka kite anō. Yeah.